The streets of Cincinnati, welcome to the jungle! Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite in our Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers stripe the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin', who that? Time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Blue day in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move close and on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em, bingo bottle, never stop it till the beast on feastin' on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move close and on? Now who wanna move on? All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of Jackpot Joey Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, and the number 2 team in the country, the University of Cincinnati Bearcats. Now, do me a favor, if you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to 1,412 subscribers. That is awesome. And as always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Now, do me a favor, if you're watching on Twitter or if you're watching on Facebook and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the button for the subscription. Hit the bell for notifications. And every time I go live, you'll be notified. And as always, we're doing exclusively in the YouTube chats. We are doing super chats. So if you'd like to support what I'm doing, or if you want to make sure that your comment definitely gets read, give me a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, the Ice Cave that I'm coming to you live from is being brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. I've got a little, I'll read the comments here. And Terry, I got to give it to you, man. You're watching from the ER. Well, value your fingers. Okay. I hope you are okay, man. I know you're a loyal listener or watcher. And yes, value your fingers. I hope everything goes good, man. Prayers sent your way. That's dedication right there. You're in the ER and you're watching my show. I appreciate it. All right, guys, welcome to everybody in the chat. We're having a fun Football Friday show. Jake Lisco from the Locked On Bengals podcast will be joining the show. He's not going to join until about 6 o'clock. So from then until now, it is you and me. let's see here. All right, news of the day. Chris Evans is out. He just can't get the hamstring completely healthy, but Khalid Kareem is in. I think this is good news because we need another edge. We've all talked about it. Hopefully, Khalid Kareem can be that extra edge rusher that we need, and he can stay healthy the rest of the year. The times he's played, he's been very active and very good. So, bad Chris Evans is out, but hey, Samaje Perine played outstanding last week. So, hopefully, Chris Evans heals up. Khalid Kareem can play good. Now I got the Jets and the Bengals this weekend, but Saturday we had the University of Cincinnati taking on the Tulane Green Wave. Like I said, I think both these games are going to be wins. Cincinnati, I think the Bearcats are favored by like 28 points or something like that. People are picking them to cover on that, which they're going to have. They need to win by that big of a margin to get the college football playoff committee to keep them in the top 4. Now, the rankings, the ones that actually count, that's what I call them, the college football playoff rankings come out Tuesday. We need a big showing to kind of just say, hey, last week, Navy, the triple option, hard to run on, hard to play against, hard to defend. It's kind of a bump in the road, which they kind of gave that to us by keeping us at number 2. Hopefully the college football playoff committee feels the same way. And it's kind of like what Joe Danneman said yesterday on the show, that in the back of the minds of the college playoff committee, they screwed us last year. Are they going to do it 2 years in a row? They're human. That's what they're thinking. Back here somewhere saying, can we really do this to this team 2 years in a row? We'll find out. All right, Terry, you're still going to hang out at scoreboard, I promise. Hey, I appreciate you, man. I hope like I said, I hope your finger's okay. Man. But yeah, prayers definitely for you. As long as Tulane doesn't run the triple option, we should be fine. But I'm worried about Navy exposing weakness of that. Oh, yeah. Navy exposed some stuff. I mean, but not they're the only ones that run the triple option. I mean, I think Army might. But yeah, Terry, it did expose some stuff. I don't think other teams can take advantage of it as much as Navy did because of the offense they run. Tulane, let's be honest, they're not a very good team at all. Their defense is terrible. Honestly, the Bengals and the Bearcats could put 50 on both these teams. They really could. If they're going to, I don't know. But we'll find out. That's why they play the games. Football starts tomorrow. This is a fun Football Friday show. I cannot wait. All right, let's get through some of the Jets news. Now, they said Corey Davis is out for the Jets, and Mike White, whoever the hell that is going to be the quarterback for the Jets. So, James Crowder for the Jets, wide receiver, he's probably going to be his biggest target of Mike White's. We'll see what happens. I just really think that the Bengals are going to put it on them. I really do. Let's see here. Let's get into some of the chat here. Foxy, what's up here? Said, thanks for doing the show. Jeff lost my brother this week. Oh my goodness. And this has been my way to get away from time on your show. Oh man, Foxy, man, that sucks, dude. My prayers, you definitely that sucks to lose your brother. I'm sorry to hear that, but definitely we got a lot of stuff going on today. I mean, Terry's in the ER, you lost your brother, man. That's not good. I definitely keep both of you guys in my prayer when you lose a family member, especially a brother. That's something hard to get over. So, hey, let's have some fun, man. It's a fun Football Friday. Let's talk some Bengals, some Bearcats, and let's have some fun here. Let's see here. Oh, there you go. Crown says they almost beat Oklahoma. Are you talking about Navy? Because shoot, Texas almost beat Oklahoma. Kansas almost beat Oklahoma. So we'll see. Yeah, you're getting a lot of love. Love to you there from Rob there. Foxy. Joe Houday, what's up? What's up? Black Thorn back at you. Yep, Foxy. Everybody keep Foxy in your prayers. He's going through a rough time. That sucks, man. So let's get into this thing. So, all right, we got the Bearcats Saturday. Like I said, I really do think it's going to be 2 wins for the Bengals and the Bearcats. Now, one thing I want to point out here about one of my favorite players on the Bengals, and I tweeted this out, and my stats guy, Tommy, he's the one that came up with these stats on Q, Quentin Spain. And I tweeted this out today, and it's on. He posted it on Houday Nation, so I just copied what he put on Houday Nation, and I tweeted it out. But these are amazing stats for Quentin Spain because of everybody who wanted the Bengals to get Joe Thuney. I was one of them, but I didn't want to pay the amount of money that he got. But just listen to this. Quentin Spain, in 431 snaps this year, Q has only allowed pressures of 1.7% of the time. That's 7 snaps out of 431 total. That's second overall in the NFL among guards. Joe Thuney, who everybody wanted, including me, is 8th in this same category, and Q is on a veteran minimum contract. That is unbelievable. That is the kind of offensive line play that we want. I think this offensive line is going to keep getting better and better and better. The one I am concerned about, I think everybody else is concerned about, is Trey Hopkins. And it's nothing against him. It's his knee. And I know every Wednesday he takes that practice off. It's rest and recovery. And one thing I'll give this to Zach, and I love this about Zach. I think Zach has done and I think it's shown in our health. They are giving lots of players veteran days off or taking it easy on them. They're still installing the game plan. They're still getting the work in. But health is a huge, huge deal in the NFL. There's so many teams that have so many guys on the IR, and the Bengals only have 1 right now. Well, yeah, because Akeem Adeniji came off now too. So that's the Trey Wayne's the only one we have. And I think after this week he's back. I think this will be his 3rd week. So you got to give Zach Taylor credit for this. I'm a big Zach Taylor fan. I've always been a big Zach Taylor fan. I have defended him a ton. If you guys ever watched the show last year when Jeremy was my co-host, so Jeremy's still a co-host if he could ever get on the show. He was always coming at me about Zach. And I'm like, I really think Zach's a good coach. I don't think he has the talent last year. Looks like I was right. He's got the talent. But I think this is a new way. And this is a new thing because last couple of years, we've had so many injuries, especially last year. And I think they changed some stuff. And it's nothing against the way Marvin Lewis did it. But Marvin Lewis will always say, if you don't practice, you don't play. I hear or I see better than I hear. All that stuff, yada, yada, yada. That doesn't work all the time. I mean, players, you need them to play on Sunday. Playing on Sunday is more important than, practicing during the week. I mean, how many guys do we know in the NFL from other teams who have they didn't practice because of an injury? They get the game plan, they know what to do, and they're ready to go Sunday. It happens over and over and over again. And that's what Zach Taylor's doing a great job of, especially with Trey Hopkins. And he's the one I am concerned about. So what I'm hoping is the Bengals get out on the Jets, and by halftime, this game is over, and Trey sits, and we put Hill in as center and let the rookie get him some time. And I know Doggy, if you're still out there, you would like that because he's a Georgia boy. All right, Blackthorn. Oh yeah, let's get the Terry here. You first. Where is Ritter in the Heisman race? Well, that's a good question. Since last week, I haven't heard as many people talking about him because of, he didn't have such a good game last week. I know ESPN tweeted out, the top 4, their top 4 candidates at the Heisman of QBs, and Ritter wasn't there. Now, that could change very easily as soon as he has a good game again. As soon as he has a good game again, then they're back at it. And he'll be back in the conversation again. So it's one game, I think, and he can get back into it. Sorry, I had to send something to Jake there. Sorry. But that's what I think. I think it's one game and he gets back into it. Because, after the Notre Dame game, And the Central Florida game, everybody was talking about Ritter. He had one bad game because there's no Joe Burrow this year so far. I mean, maybe, nobody that's standing out as that's the guy, So we got another. It's really the separation is really going to come here in November. Starting this next month. That's when I think the separation is going to happen, and Desmond has to get the biggest problem with Des. He's got to get off to better starts. I keep saying that. Me and Kieran's keep talking about that. Which actually I was on Kieran's show earlier this week. And I think it's up now, Full 10 Yards podcast. You guys can go check that out too if you enjoy me and him when he's been on my show. I've been on his show a couple times, but I think it's up on the podcast. But that's what I'm saying. This November is when I think you're going to separate the men from the boys as far as the Heisman Trophy goes. But DJ Ritter has got to get up to better starts to have a shot at this. Blackthorn. I want the Bengals to put up a 30-burger Big Zach meal. I like that. I think they will. I mean, the Patriots put 50 on them. If the Patriots put 50, why in the world can't the Bengals with their offense? Get low. What's up? Let's have some fun. Let Chase go for 300 yards or mix it for 280 or jackpot for 600. How fun would that be with a win, of course? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, those are the numbers, or that's what they're projected to do as the game is going. They might not get them because they might sit them, to be honest. I mean, I could see them getting Joe out, getting Joe Mixon out, getting Jackpot out, getting Trey Hopkins out. So we'll see. I mean, I think the scoring numbers could be high, but the yardage and everything else, the individual stuff might not be as high. John, what's up? You got to get pressure on the Jets quarterback and we'll be good. And that's one thing I will bring up now. I'm not going to take credit for this. James Rapine, my boy from Locked On Bengals, kind of said this on his show earlier today, that the only really question, and it's not really a question, the Jets have a pretty good interior line versus some people say suspect Bengals line, interior line. I think our interior line is getting better. That's where it's going to come down for the Jets to get pressure on the Bengals. Now, vice versa, as you said, we're going to get pressure. We're going to get pressure on them. We've got pressure on everybody, So, and I think I really am excited to see Khalid Kareem and see how he does, because we've all talked about we need another edge rusher. Maybe we have one in our own organization. We'll see. Terry, what's up? We should get a pick six Sunday. The defense will pad their stats. I really, if they get one, I hope it's Eli Apple. I would love to see Eli Apple get a pick six, because I know he's gotten all kinds of crap from the New York media when he was there. We weren't all that happy with him at first, but hey, in the last, I think, 4 games, he's only had one pass thrown to him, or one pass completed on him. That's it. So Eli Apple's been playing really well. So if they get a pick six, I hope it's him. Doggy, I know you love I think about Trey Hill is the best player on the Bengals. I would think Jackpot or the chosen one is the best players. The guys from LSU. Sorry, Doggy. Samuel, what's up, buddy? Just be thankful that the Bengals are winning. Yeah, trust me. And I've said this before. Enjoy it. We have to enjoy how far it goes. I have no idea. Hell, I got Super Bowl visions in my eyes right now, but I'm a fan. I'm allowed to do that. But did you guys see the video, where they caught Joe talking to, I think it was Chase and Higgins, and I think CJ Uzama, about how he thinks they can win the whole thing? Did you guys see that? They think they can win the whole thing. If they think they can, that's really good. Get goosebumps just think about that. Give Vader, what's going on? Welcome to the show, my man. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Gift Vader. He does the Stripes song that is at the beginning and end of my show. And you can find his song from Blacklight Productions of Cincinnati. It's on Spotify. And I know you told me what it was last time you were on my show. Is it Apple or is it iTunes? I can't remember, but I know it's out there. But Gift says, Hubbard, 2 sacks, Henderson, 3 sacks. Woo! Which could happen. I mean, we could put this should be a beatdown, I think. It really should be. This should be a no contest. And I'll put it to what we've talked about when we go into the Ravens game. If the Bengals are up here and the Jets are down here, we need to keep them down here. And when you get them on the ground, step on their throat as fast as you can and in this thing. That's what great teams do. Blackthorn, Sammy, I agree. Honestly, the Bears taught me that anyone can beat anyone in this league, so no one wins easy. Yeah. And one thing, Blackthorn, I tell you this, and Sam too, the thing that Joe has talked about getting better at is the interceptions. And to be honest, I've said this a million times, if he did not throw 3 interceptions, the Bengals win that game. That's one thing Joe has got to start cleaning up is his interceptions. And a lot of them is he trusts his guys that they're going to make the play. You know, that like the one last week to Chase in the end zone, he trusted Chase was going to get it, and he underthrew it a little bit or whatever, but Chase couldn't make the play. That's the stuff where, and we might have to live with that. I don't know, but we'll see. John Wick, shout out to Gift Vader. Yeah, exactly. We love his song. His song is awesome. Joe, what's up? Can you imagine how many could make the Pro Bowl? That's, Joe, that's a great point because we didn't have anybody, I don't think, make it last year. We all were ticked off because Jesse Bates should have made it. Yeah. How many are they going to make offensively and defensively? I mean, there's guys balling out. So, I mean, it could be a lot. I mean, the Chiefs had a record the other a couple years ago, like 14 or something like that. I'm not saying we're going to get that many, but we could. Terry, what are your thoughts on the former Bengal AJ Green and his blunder last night? He's still my guy, regardless of what uniform he wears, except if he comes to a rival team. Yeah, I love AJ Green. He's one of my all-time favorite Bengals. I don't want to talk bad about him. To me, he looked like he thought they were going to run the ball. I mean, he was blocking like they were going to run the ball. That's what it looked like to me. It was obviously a miscommunication. But AJ's had a really good year this year, and I'm very happy and happy for him that he's having a good year. But it does suck that he made that blunder on national TV. So that's my thought. I think it was obviously a communication mishap. So we'll see. All right. Blackthorn, the Pro Bowls will be the NFC versus the Bengals. I don't know if we're going to have that many Blackthorn, but I like where your head's at. I like where you're talking. Sammy, thank you, AJ Green, for your service, but thank God for Jamar Chase. Woo! I can't say it any better than that, Sam. That's perfect. I mean, I love AJ Green, but good God, Jamar, the chosen one, is freaking unbelievable. I've said this on every show I've been on. As of right now, he has more yardage than anybody in the first 7 games to start an NFL career. Anybody. I mean, I tweeted this out. Actually, no, I made a TikTok. I actually did tweet it out, and I made it a TikTok. Chris Collinsworth is on there on his podcast, and he's talking about Jamar Chase. He's going to break his rookie receiving record, and he's going to do it by halfway through the season. And Chris Collinsworth goes, well, I'm going to blame him because he had, 17 games. That's why he did it. He's, joking or whatever, but I thought it was funny. But that's how good this kid is. I mean, Chris Collinsworth, his rookie record is from 1981. Some of you guys watching my show weren't even born then. I was, and that's why Collinsworth was my favorite player back then. All right, get low. We have to remember, Joe just getting used to playing with his brace for the first 3 or 4 games. Yeah, get low. Have you seen how he's moving now? I mean, he's moving like, I think the old Joe. He's moving in the pocket. That's one thing people kept saying, oh, he's not moving like the old Joe. This isn't going to be good. The quarterback experts or whatever. And I'm like, people, he's coming back from reconstructive knee surgery. Give him a break. But he's starting to move like the old Joe, the old jackpot. Blackthorn, AJ or Chad? Ooh, I love both those guys. That is a tough one there. I hate to pick between both. I don't know. The only thing, the only reason I would go AJ slightly above Chad, slightly Chad, if you're watching my show, it's very, very slight, is because I liked AJ's demeanor during the games and stuff. And I thought he kept his head about him a little better than Chad did at times. That's it. That's the only difference. But I think Chad had more yardage. Oops. Let's see here. Jamar. Joe says Jamar is making a better decision. That Buddy is talking. Hi, Buddy. You can't come on the show right now. Ryan, hello from Mansfield, Ohio. Hooday, all the way. What's up, Ryan? Welcome to the show, man. All right, Samuel. Jamar player comparison is more explosive than Steve Smith. I mean, that's a perfect, I think. Everybody keeps saying Moss because he's getting the records, but he's more like Steve Smith because Steve Smith could beat you 6 ways a Sunday. He'd go in just like Jamar did. And that's one thing I think is so cool about what happened this past Sunday. Jamar was beating everybody over the top. Sunday he didn't. He went over the middle and he turned into a running back. And did you see this? I never saw the spin move, but did you see the acceleration, the speed? I mean, he looked like the freaking roadrunner. Meep, and pew, right to the end zone. He blew the doors off the guys chasing him. So he's got elite speed. And I mean, I've seen his legs, right? His legs are like freaking tree trunks. They're huge. Terry, it's certainly possible that Chase could have had 1,000 yards receiving by the end of Sunday's game. That would be truly insane. And yeah. Yeah, he's 749. Yeah, he could. But like I said, if we get out on him, I really do think Zach's gonna sit his guys because this isn't college. Like it ain't like you gotta do style points like the Bearcats do. My boy Dean, he says Chad over AJ. There you go. All right, what we got here? And Ryan, Chad was fun. Yeah, Chad was fun. I enjoyed Chad a lot. I mean, he brought the Bengals. He made the Bengals cool again, and that's the thing. And there's lots of, I think, Bengals fans that are watching the show right now. You guys are Bengals fans because of Chad Johnson. You gotta give him that credit. But in the waiting room, it's the man, the myth, the legend from Locked On Bengals, the bearded wonder from Canada, Jake Lisco. Jake, what's going on, man?
I'm in the show. Hello. How's it going, guys?
Good. What's up? Did I catch you off guard?
No, I'm ready. Let's
All
go.
right. So let's get into this. What I have to give you props though. You and James did a great gritty. You know, I truly think you guys did way better than I could do. I couldn't do it at all. I give you props. That was a lot of fun watching you guys do that.
You know, I learned some lessons from attempting the gritty on camera for the first time, and the biggest lesson is that you don't start it from standing. You got to walk into it or jog into it a little bit, you know, because from standing, I don't know, it's just like if you're just standing, you're just kind of doing river dance. I don't know dancing very well,
River dance.
but like it's just a two-step where you're jumping from one heel to the other a little bit. But if you're going forward, you have forward momentum, and the other really important thing is your upper body,
right?
The lean, which when I was practicing, and I did practice. If you're just standing straight up, that's not the look you want. You gotta lean into it, and it's better coming into it in motion. Those are my gritty lessons learned. So, in case any of you are aspiring gritty doers, I see a message that I'm going to address right away in chat. Sam wants me to rate Dave Portnoy's gritty 0. This dude decided that, you know what, I could just hop on one foot and cross my arms and that's a gritty. No, dude, you're just jumping on a leg. So 0 for Dave Portnoy, who I do not have any love for in the first place. So
but he made an awful lot of money on the Bengals, I heard.
Good for him, man.
Yeah, good for him. But yeah, I have yet to attempt the gritty. I don't think it'd be a very, very good look for me. But let's get into this Jets game here, and we got one guy that's going to be out. Chris Evans is out as far as I know because of hamstring, but Khalid Kareem is back. Now, I have a question about him. Do you think, and then we've talked about this on my show a lot of times, that the Bengals might need to get another edge from somewhere? Lots of people keep asking me that. Is the answer in our own backyard? Is it Khalid Kareem?
We've talked about on the Locked On Bengals podcast a few times that, one position where I could see them kicking the tires at the trade deadline is an edge rusher. I think they could use another guy. I think they could use a guy to get Trey Hendrickson off the field a little bit more too, to preserve him, especially now that he's been dealing with this shoulder injury for 3 weeks now. So I would try to get a guy. My hope for Khalid Kareem is that Khalid Kareem can take Wyatt Ray's snaps, because what the Bengals are doing is when Trey Hendrickson needs to come off the field, they're putting Wyatt Ray on that side. When Sam Hubbard needs to come off the field, they're putting Cam Sample on his side. And they're playing sides with their defensive ends pretty much exclusively,
right?
Unless they're doing weird stuff to try to create a pressure on a third down or something. But on base downs, their normal defense is Sam Hubbard left end, Trey Hendrickson right end, and if they're out, then Wyatt Ray right end, and Cam Sample left end. So my thought is, in preseason, Khalid Kareem was lining up at left end, so that'll be interesting to see if they move Cam Sample or what they do. But I'm thinking Wyatt Ray is no longer active on game days.
Right.
And there are some people out there that are like, oh, get Darius Hodge a chance. And like, he's now 6th on the depth chart at defensive end. So
he keeps going down.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's a developmental player. I hope he becomes very, very good, but I don't see a big rush in getting him on the field. But I am excited to see Khalid Kareem's return. I don't know if he's going to be a pass rusher. He looked great and very, very limited, like 11 preseason snaps. So not really sure what to expect from him yet. But, I would hope at least he can make the Bengals comfortable with taking Trey Hendrickson off the field on clear rushing downs and get Trey Hendrickson on the field a little bit more in those pure passing situations. And that's where I would like to see them add a guy,
right?
Is another guy so Sam Hubbard can kick inside, and they have 2 guys that really like to get after the passer as edge rushers. So that's what they're missing. Is it something they actually do? I don't know. Trades are impossible to predict is what I would say about that, but we'll see what happens next Tuesday.
Yeah, everybody keeps asking me that. And the Bengals, I think you guys talked about this on Locked On. The Bengals really value their draft picks. So, and that's the thing too, is these teams are probably going to want draft picks for whoever they're trying to trade, if it's somebody worth trading for. And I'm not sure the Bengals have changed their stripes, and they are doing things a lot differently than they used to. I would kind of be shocked if they do it. And plus, I also think they don't want to maybe necessarily mess up the chemistry a little bit, because they got such good chemistry on this team that they might be worried about that. I don't know.
I wouldn't worry about that. If you get a good player on your team, and I think Zach Taylor talked about this, like the leadership in the room, the locker room,
right,
by and large, I think at this point is very strong. There's a good mix of veterans and young guys. The young guys even that are captains or have been around. And the biggest thing is, I think that this team generally is taking on Joe Burrow's personality, and how do you not, right?
Right.
Joe Burrow is an incredibly powerful presence, I think, in the locker room. And so I wouldn't worry about adding anybody. You want to add players that are good, that are going to make your team better. Mike Brown infamously said not too long ago, it's not my job to make other teams better. Well, you can make your team better, right? And so
I remember that quote.
If it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, I mean, I'm not going to be screaming. Like, this isn't make a trade or everything's ruined, right?
Right.
We're not really there. It's not, for me, it's not Super Bowl or bust, just because the core of the team is so young and controlled. And so, like, yeah, make a smart move, right? Don't give up all your assets.
The cool thing is, Jake, is we're actually talking about that. The way the Bengals are playing, like, hey, like beginning of the year, only like crazy nut jobs like me thought that might be a possibility. But other people are like, well, hey, you never know now with the way they're playing. Now, I know we're still got a long ways to go. We'll see what happens. But it's just kind of cool that people are actually talking about that other than me.
I think it's nice that we can talk about the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I want to get a win first. That'd be nice.
I've been covering this team on Locked On Bengals for 2.5 years, right? I started the year before Zach Taylor's first year. Pretty much when we took over, Joe Goodberry and I took over that show from James Rapine when he left for Cleveland and came back later. But it was the coaching search. Or maybe they had just hired Zach Taylor. Yeah, no, it was February. So they had just hired Zach Taylor. And so it was covering the first thing we covered was the coaching search for all the assistants when most staffs have all been filled out. So for me, yeah, it's great. Covering a winning team is, I mean, it's good for our numbers. It's good for our audience. It's more fun to talk about. It's easier for me to stay engaged because, you know, despite that I'm clearly a fan still, I think people watching know that I'm still a fan of the team. Anybody that saw me in Paul Brown Stadium on week 4 knows that I'm still a fan of the team, but I'm also like pretty realistic. And if they're bad, I'm going to call them bad. And I'm probably not as optimistic as you or most fans. So,
well, that's good. I got the orange sunglasses. That's I see everything like that.
Yeah, that's right. But the point is that it's really fun for me to cover a winning team. And like last year down the stretch, you still have to cover the team, even though Joe Burrow's hurt. And it's like, why am I doing this? I don't even want to watch these games. I just want to take a break and come back next year when people are healthy again. But you know, that's not a choice. So it's nice to cover a team that's winning and you know, touch wood, staying healthy. So we'd like to see that continue.
The interesting thing is the timeline you're saying there. That's right about the time I started doing my my show.
There you go.
So we've been doing this about the same time. That's look where we're at now, Jake.
We've come so far. At least you've had some other teams. Like I don't know. I guess the other Cincinnati teams have also been rough. But
the Reds were fun to talk about this year, but they're frustrating. And then, the Bearcat football has been fun the last 2 years to talk about. So that you only have one team. I can talk about Cincinnati sports. So
that's right.
All right.
Am I supposed to answer Gitlow's question here?
Sure, you can. He said, "Love your show. To be honest, sometimes I think we're looking for the perfect game. Is there really one?"
Yes. I mean, I have. So actually, no. No, and Joe Burrow will tell you this too. So, you know, you listen to Brian Callahan talk about Joe Burrow, and Callahan, you know, we played the quote on our show yesterday. Callahan's like, yeah, I went up to Joe to congratulate him after the game. This 41-17 win in Baltimore over the 5-1 Ravens. And Brian Callahan, the offensive coordinator, goes up to Joe Burrow after the game, and he's trying to congratulate him. And Burrow's like, man, I threw that pick. I'm pissed. And so like as fans, you know, we take the wins for sure, but as people covering the team, as an analyst, I'm looking at these wins and I'm looking for how can the team get better? What can we learn from this? And what can the players learn from this? Right. And so is there such thing as a perfect game in the NFL? I mean, probably technically, yes. And I'm thinking back to like 2015, maybe like, there's some games that year maybe that were quite good. 2005, like the 5 years have been pretty good to the Bengals, right? But I don't think there's individually a perfect game. There's always things to learn. There's always things to improve. Always, always, always. That's just how the NFL works. But I mean, they've been really good the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, such is life. You're always need to improve. So I don't know if there's anything that's ever perfect. Let's get to Dean's question here. He said, I've gotten asked this a couple of times. So what would you give up to get Xavier Howard, if anything?
Yeah, Xavier and Howard, right? The Dolphins corner. Probably not what the Dolphins want.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because you look at corner trades and they get traded for a lot. Mm-hmm. And I see that Xavier Howard is a good player. He had a great year last year. He's been kind of okay this year, I think. I don't know how good he's been this year. I don't know if he's still that level. I don't have confidence that he's like a Darrelle Revis or Stephon Gilmore, Marshawn Lattimore, or Jalen Ramsey level corner. And those guys commanded, you know, or would command in a modern market probably multiple first-round picks. So I don't even know if I want to give up a first-round pick for Xavier Howard in the contract, even though I know it's a later first-round pick, and maybe that's reasonable. The argument would be mostly that I'm not sold on Xavier Howard more than like the contract or the value or anything. It's just like I don't know how good he is. And I think that's probably what the Dolphins are asking for.
Yeah, my thing with it is the secondary is actually playing very well. And I talked about this before you came on, and we got to give props to Eli Apple. I mean, I think, well, the last 4 games, I think he's only allowed 1 pass. That's pretty good. That's better than what he was.
Yeah, so there's this idea that I think is happening on defense, and I guess, I could go try to watch a little bit more and confirm it, but my idea of what's happening on defense right now is pretty much they're mostly rolling help to Eli Apple's side of the field and leaving Chidobe Awuzie in isolated situations, which is why you're seeing Chidobe Awuzie get targeted so much more than Eli Apple, and Cheeto's just good enough to hold up in those situations. And this is what Baltimore tried to do, right? And this is how it can backfire is if they have a dude that's better than your dude, and Jamar Chase was better than Marlon Humphrey on Sunday, then you're going to get torched. And so far, Cheeto's been up to the task. I mean, he gets beat deep a little bit on that one excellent throw and catch from Hollywood Brown and Lamar Jackson. But, by and large, even against Devontae Adams, who I think is better than Jamar Chase, currently the best receiver in the NFL, he even held up there despite him getting his. It wasn't necessarily all against Cheeto. So I think Cheeto's good. I do think they need another corner. I think that, if I'm looking ahead to draft needs right now, it's interior offensive line, corner, maybe interior defensive line, maybe an edge rusher. Those are the 4 positions that I'm thinking about right now.
Well, the edge too. You still got next year. We got Joseph Osai hopefully coming back healthy. So we always got to remember
I'm
about
aware
him.
of that one, but you also don't really know. Like generally, guys have good prognoses after meniscus repairs. It's not necessarily something that often lingers or slows a guy down. But if the opportunity is there and you can get a guy that you like in the late first round, hopefully late first round, right? Then you pull the trigger. But the other things are certainly. You have a 1-year deal at left guard. You have a 1-year deal at right tackle. You have a bunch of guys on expiring deals on the defensive interior. So that plus corner, I think is for really looking out into the future is kind of the picture right now. And Trey Waynes, Eli Apple don't give me enough confidence. It would make me say, hey, if there's a offensive lineman available a corner available that we like, then we should pick him. And the Bengals have had success picking corners in the mid to late first round.
Yeah, the one I would love to get, which he's not going to be there if we pick later, is Sauce Gardner out of the University of Cincinnati. He is, I think, 1 to 1A as far as the number 1 corner coming out of in the draft this year. I think, but I'm biased. I'm a Bearcat fan, but he's pretty darn good.
I mean, I think Derek Stingley is certainly up near the top of that conversation from LSU, who looked phenomenal, NFL ready as a freshman down there in the SEC, but we'll see. I think a lot of time left. From what I've seen, from what I've heard, and read from those around NFL circles, he's kind of borderline first round right now. And if he tests well in particular, I don't see how he doesn't end up mid to early first round, just because, his productivity is just insane. Like he's been so good. I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, he's been great.
He's been awesome. Now let's go get to this Jets game here. Now I'm going to steal this from James. James said this on his broadcast earlier today, and I kind of agree with the strength of the Jets is the interior defensive line. The weakness of ours is our interior offensive line. And somebody said in here, how do we get? Ryan said, what do we do about the O-line? Mixon has no holes to run through. What's your thoughts on the O-line and this matchup here?
I mean, I don't think it's fair to say that Mixon's had no holes to run through. But
I'm with you on that.
It's been up and down. It's been inconsistent, and that's kind of the way of it. The Bengals' offensive line isn't great, and there's perhaps too much praise going around for them right now. Like there are people talking about them as if they're great. They're better. And I'm not mad at them. I don't think they're like a huge problem or anything, right? But they're not great. And so, it's inconsistent at times. And Joe Burrow currently is working great within the pocket in passing situations, but in the run game, I mean, I think it's just hit or miss right now. I think it's just, inconsistent execution from a collection of guys that are going to have that, and that's just kind of be the way it is. But Mixon has broken off his share of big explosive runs this year too. I mean, don't
That one in
forget,
Detroit was pretty good. The Chase got the
yeah,
block down for him. That was pretty good.
technically a pass, but yeah, that was a great run after the catch. But I mean, even
I tried to
against
always pass.
Baltimore,
My bad.
even against Baltimore, Mixon gets loose
Mhm.
for an explosive touchdown. Samaje Perine gets loose for an explosive touchdown. So
Jackson Carman had that pancake.
yeah, great block from Jackson Carman against a 330-pound man who he drove 10 yards downfield. So, you know, it's hit or miss. Like it's not consistently there, and that's just the way of the NFL sometimes too. The Bengals, what I would like to see the Bengals to do more of, and they've started doing more of this in the last couple of weeks, is more jet motion from under center. We've talked about this on the Locked On Bengals podcast, and the idea is the pre-snap motion gets linebackers, gets safeties going in one direction, maybe makes the
Right.
defense adjust late. You saw this. Mike Renner, I think, retweeted somebody's highlight from the Packers Cardinals game where the Packers sent pre-snap motion and Buda Baker's manned up on a tight end, I think, in the slot. And the jet motion's coming across, and Buda Baker's trying to communicate to the guy running with the jet motion at the snap, and they're trying to maybe to switch or figure out a switch release or something like that. And instead, the guy following the jet motion, the guy going in motion at the snap, stays with it as the guy runs into the flat. And Buda Baker's hesitate. He hesitates. He's late to get on the it's a slant or a basic and en route. And he doesn't get there in time because he thinks he's actually staying in the flat, but that communication is happening at the snap. So the pre-snap motion from under center does a few things. It moves guys in the run game and can cause a little bit of hesitation and makes your offensive line's job easier. And in the pass game can create confusion in the secondary. So they've started to do more of that. Would like to see them continue to do more of that. But the Jets, despite having some players that are good at football, are a terrible football team.
Yes.
I mean, in terms of results and what they've done on the field, they're getting bottom results across the board. They do have some decent guys playing on the offensive line, right? That actually might be the strength of the Jets. But without a quarterback, without Corey Davis, without Carl Lawson, all these guys that are hurt, like the Bengals should be taking this seriously. I'm not taking it seriously, which is why I tweeted last night that the people that believe in jinxes are going to be mad at me this week because, I mean, the last 3 weeks, the jinx believers have been mad at me though.
Right.
Against the Lions, I was like, I'm excited to kick back and relax and enjoy this nice, easy day of Bengals football. Everyone's like, oh, Jake, you can't say that. You ruined the game. No. And then the Bengals blew them out. And then like the Bengals were up 2 scores late against the Ravens. And I'm like, there shouldn't be enough 3 scores. There shouldn't be enough time in this game for the Ravens to come back. And everyone's in my mentions again, like, no, you jinxed it, you ruined it. The Ravens are gonna win. And then the Bengals scored 2 more touchdowns. So I don't believe in jinxes.
I don't really believe in jinxes either. I mean, that's where I think this should be an easy win. I mean, the Bengals are by far more talented than the Jets. They're playing their backup quarterback. What is his name here? I got it.
Mike White.
Yeah, thank you, Mike White. Which I said I don't even know his name. So I mean, it cracks me up that Joe Flacco, they traded for him this week, and the man didn't even show up. Well, supposedly, I guess he showed up today. I'm like, that shows how dedicated he is and really excited about going to the Jets. He shows up on Friday, so he wasn't going to play anyway. But I do want to get to a little bit of the interior offensive line and Quentin Spain, and this is my stats guy, Tommy, got this for me, and I read this earlier in the show, but I'll read it again for you. And I think Quentin Spain is having a hell of a year. And 431 snaps this year, Q has only allowed pressure at 1.7% of the time. That's 7 snaps out of 431 in total. That's second overall in the NFL among NFL guards. Joe Tooney, who everybody wanted, which I put my hand up, I wanted him too, ranks 8th in this category. So I think the Bengals got a diamond in the rough with Q. He's having an outstanding year. They're definitely going to have to pay him next year, that's for sure. But I'm very happy with the way Quentin Spain has played this year and how he's taking Jackson Carman under his wing as well.
That's what's going to be interesting, right? Is do they pay him and how much do they pay him and how much money does he command? He's surely having a great season. And I tweeted this week. I think he retweeted it, judging from how much engagement it got. And he certainly has a bigger following than me as an NFL player, unsurprisingly. But he's reinvented himself this year. He wasn't great last year. He came in, had to learn the system, had to play all these different positions, and
He played tackle.
yeah, he should have never been asked to play tackle.
I was so cracked you up. Sorry, interrupt you. Go ahead.
It's the same as like they're asking John Jerry to play tackle 2 years ago. Something about Jim Turner playing guards, career guards at tackle. He loves it. But this year playing left guard, which is where he had to play a lot of right guard last year too. I wanted to see him at left guard the whole year. He's been so much better and so consistent, and the veteran presence and the leadership that he's imparting on that group, combined with Riley Reif, who also has been a great leader by example, I think, for those young guys. I think it's going to go a long way, but it does get tricky when you talk about extension because he's 30 years old, right? He's going to be 31 next year by the time the season starts. His birthday's in August. And how much are you relying on, 31-year-olds for the long term, right? So,
well, it's also that is how much do they like Deontay Smith, because they really liked him at guard, or Akeem Davis Gaither. Those
Hakeem
two,
Adeniji, yeah.
Or excuse me, Deniji. Sorry, Akeem Adeniji. Those two could be guards next year too. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Hakeem Adeniji might be the right tackle next year.
Yeah,
depending. Like we'll see how he plays, and if he actually gets off the IR as he's currently slated to. But look at Riley Reif's market. Riley Reif has a really good career. He turns 33 in December, and he got what a pretty good deal, but for a starting tackle, like a relatively small 1-year deal.
Right.
And, Quentin Spain, I think I love what he's doing this year. I think it's a very complicated conversation to figure out what to do with him next year for this team and how much to pay him and how many years you want to offer him. But
well, the other thing I
do love what he's done this year.
I see the other one they have to worry about too is Trey Hopkins, and a lot of stuff with Trey Hopkins is his knee. And yes. I said this earlier in this broadcast too, that I give Zach Taylor a lot of credit, I think, for the way he's handling veteran players and stuff. Because we don't have a lot of guys on IR, because every Wednesday, Trey, it's an off day for him. I mean, he goes out to practice, but he doesn't do anything because they're trying to get his knee better. It's more important to play on Sundays than it is to practice. Unlike Marvin Lewis says, practice, you don't play. I see better and I hear, and all that stuff we heard for years. So I think Zach Taylor's done a great job at that. But Trey Hopkins moving forward, because we got 3 or 4 young offensive linemen that could potentially 2 out of 3 could be our starters next year.
Yeah. And we'll see if Jackson Carman is the right tackle of the future, which Matt Minnick has a feeling about. I would personally like to see Carman stay at guard. That's just a personal feeling. Looking at Trey Hopkins, he's under contract for 1 more year. The Bengals can get out of that contract if they're not confident in Hopkins next year. There's also Trey Hill, who they really seem to like, their 6th-round pick. I mean, with some seasoning, he's a young guy. He came out early. He could turn into a pretty good player too, right? But like I said, I'm looking interior offensive line in the draft right now as I look way, way ahead and get really, really premature with it. If I do think about the draft, which I'm not really because it's too far away.
Well, isn't that nice? We don't have to. Last year, that's what we were talking about this time.
Well, not quite yet, right? Like 4 weeks from now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is nice. It is nice. I'll give you that. But yeah, Tyler Linderbaum.
I'll go with you on that.
the Iowa center looks great.
Right.
People really like the Kentucky guard too, and I'm sure he'll be very popular in Cincinnati because of all the UK fans that are also Bengals fans. So Kennard maybe is the same. I don't know. I'm not there yet. But yeah, Trey Hopkins will be another one. They'll have to decide if they think that he's worth the cap hit next year, as he's definitely starting to show signs that those injuries have piled up. But I root for the guy. I love Trey Hopkins.
Yes.
I love what Quentin Spain has done this year. So I'm rooting for all these guys, and I'm always pro player, but I always have to think about these questions from, what's in the best interest of the Bengals. And that's not always what's in the best interest for the player.
Exactly. Because there's other guys on the other side of the ball they're going to have to re-sign with Larry Obi-Wan Kajobi. That's my little nickname for him.
There you go.
They got I think he's a must. They have to try to re-sign him because he's been Geno 2.0 for us this year. So
they have 3 free agents on the interior defensive line. BJ Hill, Josh Chupo, and Larry Ogunjobi are all free agents. I don't think they can retain all of them, but 2
No.
out of 3 is probably my goal because they've all been pretty good this year.
Yeah, and I like saying this every time, and it brings up BJ Hill. Duke Tobin flat stole him from the Giants.
Yeah, I don't understand what the Giants were ever thinking in that trade, really. Like,
I don't know, man.
I love that trade when it happened because I saw BJ Hill. This is going to be a player that actually contributes and can offer you something like tangible on the field, whereas Billy Price, was maybe going to play a handful of snaps this year.
Yeah.
And so, they got a guy who's like a 20 snaps a game guy on defense for a guy who, for the Bengals, might have played 20 snaps this year.
Right.
Or maybe he'd be playing right guard instead of Carmen right now. I don't know. I don't know what would happen.
Who knows? Luckily, we don't have to worry about it. But, Jake, it's Friday. Go have yourself a good time. Relax. Thanks for coming on the show. Tell everybody about your Locked On Bengals podcast, what you guys got coming up.
Yeah. Everybody that isn't familiar with me, if you don't know who I am, I'm one of the 2 hosts of the Locked On Bengals podcast. We're 5 days a week, Sunday night through Thursday night, or Monday morning through Friday morning, depending on when you choose to listen to the episodes. You can find it on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast for the audio-only versions. But if you like to see James Rapine dance or me do the gritty once in a while, well, YouTube is the place for that. You can find me individually on Twitter at Jake Lisco, just first name, last name there. I tweet a lot during games. I try to occasionally do some video clips, although everybody should also follow. I'm just going to shout him out. Bengals Sands, Bengals _ Sands, Mike Santagata.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to go start cutting up the game this week, and Mike had already started doing all of his tweets and all of his clips, and I was just like, all right, I'll just watch these clips. I don't need to post any
Right.
videos of my own. That's my life. And the next time you'll hear from us on Locked On Bengals will be Sunday after the game, and hopefully we'll be talking about some sort of demolition in New York.
Hopefully we'll get a woo from you to start the show. That's what I'm looking forward to.
That won't be happening no matter what against the Jets, unless like Joe Burrow throws for like 600, 700 yards. People seem to think the woo is just for winning. But what people don't remember is that it was James' idea in the first place. And then I get to make the rules around it, right?
There you
so
go.
My rules are that it has to be earned. And so beating the Jets, you'd have to break some sort of record.
If they put 50 on them, we get a woo out of you.
No.
If they put 50? No.
They literally have to break a record against the Jets.
What if Jamar Chase breaks he gets over 1,000 yards, in Sunday's game,
Well, that means he goes for over 2. Yeah, probably still no. I mean, he again, literally break a record. And like a big NFL record too, like not a
Right.
Bengals record or anything.
Right.
Those of you who are shouting out the show, appreciate it. LeVar Hollis giving me shit about the Muppet gritty. Get out of here, bro. You try doing a gritty from standing on camera and don't edit it. Come on. Get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate y'all.
But aren't you guys like the #1 Locked On podcast for the Locked On Network right now?
This week I don't know if we are still today. Honestly, like for us personally, just on like a personal professional podcasting note, let me pull it up here. The Bengals playing the Jets directly after beating the Ravens and getting into first place in the AFC was like the worst timing for all Bengals content creators, because all of that energy and intrigue about beating the Jets or about beating the Ravens is like, oh, they played the Jets this weekend.
Yeah.
So currently, we fell behind the Raiders late in the week. The Locked On Raiders podcast pulled ahead of us, but we're still the #1 Bengals podcast out there.
Absolutely.
So, we'll take that.
That's all that really matters anyway, Jake. All right, Jake, as always, I appreciate you. You have a wonderful weekend. I can't wait. Hopefully something happens and we get a woo Sunday. We'll see.
Yeah. Wouldn't y'all love it? I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Take it easy. Hooday. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know there was a couple questions here that what kind of candy am I going to hand out? I'm a Reese's guy. Well, actually, I take that back. I like eating the Reese's and handing the kids out something else. Well, my favorite candy is Reese Cups. That's what I like. There's another one. Somebody asked me if I was going to do another victory. Oh, here it is. Tim. I said, hey, Jeff, I think you'll be going around the block with flags, both the Bearcats and Bengals, both winning this weekend. Happy Halloween, Jeff. Who day. I plan on it. I hope so. Now, Sunday, I will be at Scoreboard. I'm trying to bring that up here. So if you guys, I know, Tim, I think you're in St. Louis. I can't remember. I think you are. But if you guys are in town, come to 3783 Shady Lane, North Bend, Ohio. The bar is called Scoreboard. We will be there to watching the Bengals. Hopefully whoop up on the Jets and have a lot of fun. So you guys come join me. Let's have a lot of fun. And other than that, let me get to the Facebook groups. They let me live stream because Mrs. Ice is telling me she's hungry and we got to get going. So that's what I want to do. So I want to give a shout out and thanks to Houday Nation, Houday Legion, and Princess Ice. My bad. Yes. Let me keep talking. Bearcat Ruckus, Bearcat Country, Cincinnati Reds rounding third, heading for home. The Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar. You can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trenopole. TikTok is at Iceman90. I'll be pulling the sound off later on tonight, put it on the podcast. Check it out. It's on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Play. Pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Give me a 5-star review. Leave a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. You guys are killing it. I'm having, like I said, I've had between 50 and 70 people listen to my podcast. The podcast alone, which is awesome. That's great. I get a lot of people watching the show. I don't get as many people listen to the podcast I have this past week. Please keep it up. I would greatly appreciate it. YouTubers, my originals, I'm at 1,412 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Please help me try to get to 2,000 by the time the Super Bowl rolls around. Hopefully the Bengals be in it. Hey, Mrs. Ice, Dean wants to know what's for dinner. She said, come on, let's go. So I've never heard of that one. But anyway, that's my boy, Jeremy Dimebag D's Nuts likes to say, remember one thing and one thing only. And that is, you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati, so act like it. Houday, have a fun weekend, guys. I'll see you Monday. I think we're going to have 2 wins, Bearcats and Bengals. And other than that, that's just sports, baby. Yeah!
Let's go. In the night, stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black, and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, Houday, we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Houday, when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin' Houday, time to put your hands up. Bengal stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Houday in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that Houday muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Houday, when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move dancing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em. Bingo bottle, never stop it till the beast done feasting on mighty, we gon' rise and